is closed on the 23rd of August, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer, we'll go over our calls and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, August 24th, 2023. Just remember, I can be completely wrong, trade at your own risk. Also, I was busy a good part of the day, wasn't able to follow the market throughout the day. I should have more opportunity to watch the market tomorrow, but I do have personal business again early next week. Rod and David tomorrow is having another one of his free workshops. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. I will show you a shorter link than this one at the end of the video. It's a good opportunity to see how a pro analyzes the market. Look for the pattern with the early low, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early high. We said the commonest thing would be a gap and prompt move outside the day's range, and that's what happened. So just a review of what we said, and tomorrow has the early high. MEJT gave a buy signal in the afternoon. Target was poorly defined. When it's poorly defined, it just requires any higher high, and that was certainly satisfied. So that's a bullish pattern, but what isn't bullish is how we closed. We gapped up, hit higher highs, closed under midday highs. Now, of course, what counts isn't this close, but tomorrow's open. Futures are way up here as I'm talking, and if we open up here, this negative pattern goes away, and I don't have anything saying we won't. But if we don't gap and take this high out early, we should see lower prices, even if we don't close lower. And who can say what's going to happen overnight? We've had a long-term plan. The long-term plan was this break wouldn't stick, that at some point we were going to retrace to this blue line, which coincided with the 50-day moving average. After the close, the NVIDIA report caused a gap up, hitting right at the equivalent of this blue line, which is what our target was for the rebound. Even though it's in futures, I think that's enough to satisfy the target. Doesn't mean it won't print in regular trading hours, but if it doesn't, a move like that right after the close is close enough for me to return to the target, which is resistance. Now, resistance doesn't have to hold, and if you gap up over this line, that's an if. The next resistance I have is 61.8 retrace and around 4,500 plus cash. But right now we've stopped right at resistance in futures, and we have to see what happens. If we do stop here, not saying we will, but if we do, the plan was we come back to this line and then hit price targets just under 4,200. We hit targets around 4180 and 4166. And if we stop here and get an ABC, that's our target. Doesn't mean we will stop here, but if we do stop here, we've hit the target in futures, and then we should drop to what we were planning. This is another way to count things. We had an ABC yesterday. It's out now, but now we have an ABC stopping right here. Doesn't mean it's the only count, but it's right at the fib retrace. And if we stop there, if we don't stop here, here's the next target around 4502 or something. But if we give back all those overnight gains, we have an ABC and we stop right at a fib retrace. Thursday's pattern has the early high. It could gap down. Typically, it's a rally day with a high on the final hour. If you fail, it's a straight line drop. We gapped up at a higher high but closed on your midday highs. Unless we gap and promptly overtake the high of the day, we should see lower prices tomorrow, regardless of how we close. And of course, futures are up strongly, so it's entirely possible we get that gap. Futures have gapped up to our target of the 50-day moving average in the blue trend line. The futures high is at resistance, and I believe the response to that resistance will tell us how much further the rally has to go. So if we gap over that resistance and don't reverse back through it promptly, next resistance I have is 61.8 retrace of the drop, and that's around 4,500 cash. But if we stop at the trend line, or even more bearish, give back all the futures gain and open in the red, I think you can make a good case for the rally ending right here. There'll be more analysis early tomorrow. Just tune in to David. Here's how to reach him. He doesn't do these free seminars all that often, and you don't want to miss it when he does. So we've hit our target in futures. We don't have to stop there. We can break through resistance. But if we do stop there, just remember, failure of the usual bullish pattern today is a straight line drop. So even though futures are up here now, if we give that all back, don't go through it, and particularly if we gap down at the open, there's every reason to think we'll have a straight line drop and that this ended the move. So we have to see how we respond to that resistance tomorrow at the market open. It's a pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.